Would you like to go over some questions and concepts that you might see on your upcoming teacher certification exam? Well, my name's Andrew Wade, and I'm the social studies specialist here at the Learning Liaisons. Before we get into any questions, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Learning Liaisons YouTube channel. And if you're ready, let's go ahead and get into some concepts. So let's look at some of your practice questions from that pre-quiz. Number one, going back to the ancient world, we have the Colossus. One of the ancient wonders of the world stood on which island? Now, if you're going through all these islands, you're probably wondering, they all sound the same to me, right? There really isn't a trick to this one. It's really just a question of, did you know it was the Colossus of Rhodes? Okay? Really, if you see Colossus, think Colossus of Rhodes. It's the name. That's the best trick I can tell you. If you think of the choices, though, Sicily is probably the one you can get rid of right away just because it's next to Italy, right? That leaves you with Cyprus, Sardinia, and Rhodes. Like I said, not much of a trick for this one. You just kind of need to know it's the Colossus of Rhodes. Let's move on to the next one. The Chinese city of Chang'an was notable for what? Okay, look at these choices. Lack of access of running water. Think about that. Development of the world's first public transportation system. Development of the world's first sewage system. Extensive grid system. You got four choices, but if you think about it, A, you can get rid of. Why would they be known for something bad, right? Then if you look at B and C, development of the world's first public transportation system and development of the world's first sewage system. Not really something that gets talked about. What really comes out of China is the city planning, and that would be the grid system. So if you think of China, think of city planning. The grid system works for that. Now, first two questions, I've crossed out one answer. Think about that as we go. There's always going to be one distractor that's going to try to just mess you up. Figure that one out. You have a better chance as you go through. Next question here. Prior to Emperor Constantine's conversion to Christianity, the Roman Empire was officially polytheistic, which meant that Rome officials worshipped what? Okay, this is another one where you kind of need to know the root cause here. Poly means many. Okay, you can go through and try and eliminate ones, their own worldly virtue, one all-powerful God, the sky. Well, you can get rid of the one all-powerful God if you know that poly means many. And if you know poly means many, you know that it's talking about many gods, right? All right, looking at our next question here. Though many things changed about civilization from the Neolithic to the classical era, what was one continuity? Okay, let's go through these choices here. Well, before we look at the choices, actually, Neolithic, New Stone Age to classical era. So we're going from the Stone Age to the classical era. What do they have in common? Continuity. What does continuity mean? Continuity is talking about the same. Okay, so let's look at the choices. The size of civilizations remained approximately the same. There were no major technological or economic breakthroughs. Communication networks stayed approximately the same, or population virtually leveled out. Think about that for a second. If you're talking about the differences between a Stone Age and a classical era, okay, this is the one example of they didn't really do much. Okay, you can't talk about population, right? Population is going to grow. The same thing with A and D. So that leaves you with communication networks stayed approximately the same. Well, if your population is growing, you're going to have to find new ways to get messages from town to town. So just thinking your way through this one's a hard one. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you think your way through it, if population's growing from Stone Age to the classical era, everything else is going to come out of that. But what about technology? We're talking about the Stone Age, right? Stone Age to classical era, they didn't really have technology. They had stone tools, right? So if you can narrow it down to that, it's going to help you get all the way through.